welcome back. Today I'm going to be discussing the book and the movie Great Expectations with you. This is one of my favorite novels, so I'm really excited to share my opinions and my thoughts about Great Expectations with you guys today. I'm going to tell you some facts about the book, some facts about the movie, give you some similarities and differences, then I'm going to tell you my opinion on which one that I think is better. So I'm going to start today with giving you some facts about the book. The book was published in 1861 by infamous author Charles Dickens. And cool fact is that this book was originally published as a series which appeared in various newspapers and journals. Charles Dickens wrote this book when he was going through a rough time period in his life, and the ending originally was much different than how it was when it was completed, and he actually rewrote the ending scene several different times. The movie, of course, was released quite a bit later in 2012. A cool fact about Great Expectations is that Charles Dickens' book has 7 different versions out in film, and this is the latest one. Out of all 7 of the adaptations, this one received mostly positive reviews and is known as one of the best adaptations of his book. Some similarities is it does go along the plot line very well. It starts when Pip is a young child and it shows his journey into adulthood, him coming into his mysterious benefactor and receiving great expectations for his life. It begins the same. It shows Pip going to the graveyard to visit the grave of his parents, and that is where he first sees and meets Magwitch. Pip is being raised by his sister and her husband Joe Gargery, who is the local blacksmith in both the book and the movie. And the movie did a really good job of portraying Pip's sister. She's described in the book as this callous, mean person, and she was definitely portrayed that way in the movie as well. So the movie was really spot on with portraying her character. Another good thing that the movie did as well was the portrayal of Miss Havisham and her house. It really nailed it, showing the accumulation of dust and mold and filth because she refuses to have anything changed ever since she was left at the wedding altar. It shows her odd ways and manners. The way he meets Estella is the same. The movie also includes the scene where he first meets Herbert at Miss Havisham's house and has the fist fight with him. It also threw in that tiny detail of him thinking that Estella was pretty when he would go to Miss Havisham's house to play. So you see that sweet, innocent little crush that was portrayed in the book. Another thing that the movie did very good with was when Pip does indeed find out that Magwitch and not Miss Havisham is his mysterious benefactor. You see that immediate horror that he feels that someone like this is the cause of him becoming a gentleman. Although you do see him warming up more to Magwitch later on, and he and Herbert both intend to sneak Magwitch out for his own safety because he was previously arrested and banished. But in the end, he does get caught and he gets thrown into jail. And that kind of runs along the same as well in the movie as it did in the book. You see Pip putting together the puzzle of Estella's parentage in both the book and the movie. And you also see Pip telling Magwitch before he dies that his daughter did indeed live and that he was madly in love with her. In both the book and the movie, Joe, who was Pip's sister's husband, remarries Biddy, and that made me really happy because you can't help but like the character of Joe with his sweetness and his sincerity, and it made me really happy that it showed his final happiness in the movie as it did in the book. Another really good thing that I was very happy to see was the ending of the movie. It really stayed spot on with Dickinson's ending in the book. It kind of leaves this obscure ending of Estella being broken down from her marriage and her and Pip having this final let's be friends scene, and it kind of leaves that obscurity of something could possibly happen later on. Alright, so now the differences. The biggest and most disappointing difference that I saw was the character of Orlick. There was Orlick in the book, who was Joe's, one of his assistants, a blacksmith, and he is completely left out in the movie. In the book, he is the one who is the end cause of Pip's sister's death. In the movie, Joe says that she dies because she had a bad heart, but in the book, Orlick attempts to murder her, and it gives her some kind of mentality thing going on, and she's never the same, and she eventually dies because of it. And Orlick also kidnaps Pip later on and attempts to murder him as well, and that's just completely left out of the movie. So that was a huge disappointment. I was really excited to see those scenes, and it never happened in the movie. Another thing that was kind of disappointing is the way that Magwitch died. In the book, it's way more emotional. He is sentenced to death by hanging, and he indeed dies that way in the book. In the movie, he is sentenced to hanging, but it apparently never happens. The last scene you see Magwitch in is him being sick in the jail cell and Pip telling him that Estella is alive. So you do not get that emotion that was carried through in the book with his hanging scene and Pip's emotions for all of that, whereas in the movie it just kind of left all that out. The book also showed more of Biddy, her character, how her and Pip got to really know each other. It showed more detail about her marriage to Joe. They had 2 children together, and their one son was named Pip after his namesake, and the movie just kind of leaves all of that out. And that was a slight disappointment to me as well. Alright, so although I think the movie did a very good job of following along with the story in the book, it's no competition to me. The book was definitely better. This is one of my favorite reads. I love Charles Dickens. I think he's a masterful storyteller, and this book is just divine. It is a mystery. It's a thriller. It's a good page turner, and I recommend anybody to read it. All right, so what did you guys think? Did you guys see another version of the movie that was better than the one that I saw? Let me know. And I will see you guys next time when we will be talking about The Time Traveler's Wife.